Hello, Chevruta. This is the book that I'll be using for my Mishnah studies. It's got Hebrew English commentary. The author is Pinchas Kahati, who is the cover is blue, and most important, it's idiot proof. So as I said in my first video, the Mishnah is divided into 6 parts called orders or seders. Now this is where it gets complicated. Those 6 seders are each divided into parts called tractates, and those tractates are divided into chapters, and those chapters are divided into paragraphs or mishnahs. So that makes this first Mishnah the first Mishnah of the first chapter of the first chapter of the first Mishnah of the first tract of the... This makes the first Mishnah that we're studying today the first Mishnah of the first chapter of the tractate called Brachot in the Seder called Zraim. Yes! Got it? Good, let's get started. So the Mishnah begins with a question. Me'e matai korin et Shema ba'arvit? From when does one recite Shema in the evening? The Mishnah is asking about the Shema, a really important prayer that is recited twice daily, once at night and once in the morning. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Proclaiming that there's only one God, shouting it from the rooftops. Yeah, pretty important. So anyway, the Mishnah is asking about the evening recitation of the Shema, wanting to know specifically from when until when we are allowed to recite this prayer. So the Mishnah answers, Misha'ah she'hakohanim nichnasim le'echol b'trumatan ad sof hashmira harishona. From the time when the Kohanim enter to eat of their truma until the end of the first watch. I don't know what time that is. The Mishnah is talking about the high priests in the time of the temple. The Kohanim, the high priests, receive a share of each year's agricultural produce. This is called truma. But the Kohanim were only allowed to eat their truma if they were ritually pure. That means they couldn't come in contact with any dead people or anything like that. So to make sure that they were pure, they had to immerse themselves in what's called a mikvah, or a ritual bath. The Kohanim were also obligated to wait until the end of the day to eat their truma. This means that the time that the Kohanim entered to eat their truma was actually the end of the day, or the onset of night, and this was marked by the appearance of the first 3 stars in the sky. So, we're allowed to say the Shema starting at the onset of night. Perfect. But what about the second part, the until the end of the first watch part? What's the first watch? The night can be divided into 3 equal parts, and the first part is called the first watch. So the end of the first watch is about, midnight? These are the words of Rabbi Eliezer, the first watch bit. But the sages say until midnight. Okay, that's not so much of a problem. First watch, midnight, pretty much the same thing, except that the Mishnah continues. Rabban Gamliel says, until the pillar of dawn comes up. So there's totally this whole debate going on in the Mishnah right now. Rabbi Eliezer and the sages say until midnight, but Rabban Gamliel says until the pillar of dawn. Which one is it? The Mishnah explains that the latter argument makes an awful lot of sense, because a lot of other laws that are stipulated for the evening are allowed to be done until dawn. So why not this one? But then where did the sages get this whole till midnight bit? Answers the Mishnah, the sages stipulate until midnight to keep one far away from transgression. In other words, they want to make sure that you will definitely 100% say the Shema before you fall asleep. Kahati brings in a great example. The sages stipulate till midnight to prevent someone from returning from the field in the evening and saying to himself, I shall go home, eat a little, drink a little, take a short nap, and afterwards recite the Shema. Then he would doze off and sleep the whole night through. Now that sounds like me. Except it goes more like, first I'll watch a YouTube video, then I'll watch the Glee project, then I'll have a snack, and then I'll make this video. The next thing you know, it's August 7th, the Mishnah started on August 3rd, and a video has not been uploaded yet! In the secular world, this phenomenon is called procrastination, and it seems to be frowned upon in the Jewish world too. I mean, that's kind of why we're supposed to be saying the Shema at the onset of night, and not at the pillar of dawn. Because if you procrastinate it, you might not do it at all. But not procrastinating is really easier said than done. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Just not procrastinate? Interestingly, the Mishnah gives us a nice strategy. Kahati asks a question about the wording of the Mishnah. Why does the Mishnah use truma as the way to explain the onset of night? Why not just say the onset of night? Kahati offers several answers, but the one I like is this. Obviously, a Kohen who after becoming ritually impure has performed his ablutions but is not permitted to eat truma looks forward with anticipation to the setting of the sun and the beginning of the new day. So like the Kohanim, we don't want to delay the reading of the Shema for even an instant. We want to be waiting on pins and needles to say the Shema. And maybe that's the answer to the procrastination problem. Instead of just saying, okay, today I'm not going to procrastinate, you say, yeah, I'm going to make a video blog and it's going to rock! Woohoo! So that's my plan. The next Mishnah comes out August 10th. And I'm going to have a video done for August 10th. No more procrastination. I'm excited. So I guess I'll see you on Friday.